Hello, my name's Trevor. I'm a developer and I'm a trainer here at Evolving Web in Montreal. And in the last video tutorial that I did, we were looking at Facebook's sharing debugger. And what the sharing debugger lets us do is it lets us take a look at how our address, how our page is going to look like before we share it publicly on Facebook. And from there, we can edit some tags and get our preview to look just the way we want. And during that last video, we were looking at some certain meta tags that we had to affect to make our preview look the way we want. And I mentioned in that video that that is a lot to ask your content editors and your authors to do themselves. And you're probably already running some sort of content management system, something like Joomla or WordPress or maybe Drupal, which is what we focus on here at Evolving Web. And so that's what this video is going to be about today. We're going to take a look at the Drupal Metatag module, and it'll save you some time and it'll automate a few things for your content editors as well. So here it is, here's the Metatag module, and I'm going to show you what we have to install to get this up and running. Before we do that, I'm just going to show you the tags in the HTML that we're going to affect, and this is carrying over from the last video that I did. Here's 5 tags, these OG or open graph tags. So here's the meta property OG type, the title, the URL, the description, and the image. We're going to affect these tags in a sample Drupal site that I've created here. So in order to get this running, I've got a Drupal site running here, and I've downloaded the Metatag module. I'm going to install it right now, and you can see that there's quite a few modules that come with this module. So we've got the Metatag module, and there's a bunch here. And the ones that I'm going to enable are that Metatag module right there, but I'm going to also enable this Metatag open graph. And that's going to let us affect these meta tags that we need to affect. So I'm going to install and enable these. And the meta tag module also requires the token module, which I've already installed. Okay, so that has been installed. And what I've done is I've already created one piece of content. It's an article piece of content here. So I'm just going to refresh. Okay, so I've already made this. It's got a title and it's got an image and it's got some body text right there. And here's what it looks like in Chrome right here. And here is what the tags, the meta tags, which we did by hand, we edited in HTML in the last video. Here is what it looks like right now when we look at the HTML, open up the head, and you can see we've got some link tags and we've got these meta tags right here, but we don't have any that are for the Open Graph protocol. So this is what we're going to try to affect here. So I've installed the Metatag module. What next? What next? So back in my Drupal site, we now have in the configuration section, we've got these options down over here in the search and meta tag area, the meta tag. And here is, we've got some different options right here. And so what we need to do first, though, is on our content type, we need to add a field. We need to add a meta tag field to it. And this is coming from, of course, the meta tag module. So before we do anything, we're going to go to our content type. So we're going to go to Structure, Content Types, and I'm just using the built-in ones here. I'm going to add a field to the article content type. I'm going to add a field. And the new field I'm going to add is this meta tags field. And this didn't exist before, but now that I've installed the Metatag module, this is here. And I'm just going to call this Metatag, Metatags. And save this. It doesn't have any options for it. You can add some help text if you'd like, but I'm going to save this. And now I have this field on my content type. And so what's different? What's different when you have this installed is now if I go to edit my article content type, on the right-hand side, this didn't exist before, we have this, this details, collapsible details area here called meta tags, and it shows us a few different sections here. We've got the basic tags, advanced tags, and these open graph tags right here. Okay, so we've got a lot of different options here. The basic tags, it'll show us the page title and the description, and we can, of course, edit these. We have this advanced section here, And all this comes, before we've done any configuration to it, a lot of different tags: geographical place name, position, ICPM, content language, all of these different robots. There's a lot of options here, a lot of options, and probably ones that your editors aren't going to actually use. So, and also, of course, we have this open graph area here because we've enabled that module. Let's simplify this a little bit. We've got the basic tags, the advanced, and the open graph. Let's take off that advanced tab right here. Okay, how do we do that? Well, we're going to go to the configuration and go to the search and meta tag area. We're going to go to the meta tag section, and we're going to hit settings right here. And here shows the different types of things that can be mapped with meta tags. And here we see our content type, the article content type, and we can select what sections we need here. We're going to keep the basic tags, and we're going to keep open graph. If I don't have them, if I don't have any of the checkboxes checked, it's going to show all of them. So I'm just going to show the open graph and the basic tags. All right, so this will hide the advanced section in the meta tag section. So I'm going to save this. And if I go to refresh my article, we should see this advanced tab no longer appear. So we see basic tags and we have open graph right there. Okay, so that's good. So what has changed? What has changed now? I'm going to save this and see if there's any changes to our markup. Let's go back to Chrome. I'm going to refresh this, and we're going to watch these tags right here. So I'm going to refresh, open the head again. And now we see a few things here. The first one here is we see this meta tag for name description here. It's showing, the content, NASA Administrator Jim Brideson is announced Wednesday, the yada, yada, yada. And this is coming from one of these tags here, the meta tags. This is coming from this description right here, the node summary. It's grabbing the summary right here. And of course, I could override this if I wanted to. I could write, here is my description. Save that. Now if I refresh, you can see that meta tag is updated now. Here is my description. So you do have manual control over this. I'll give you another example. I'm going to edit this one more time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change one of the meta tags for open graph, and I'm going to change the content type. And this is coming from the Open Graph protocol. There's a bunch of different types you can put there. I'm going to use article. That's one of the accepted ones that they have there. So I'm going to add article right here. And I'm going to add the title of this. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste this to the title right there. I'll save that. And we'll see in the markup right now, this will change. I'm going to refresh again. Okay, we have a few different tags now. We've got the OG type, open graph type. We see it says content equals article. And we've got the meta tag property OG title, the one that I copied over right there. Okay, so that's just showing that you can let your editors manually change these tags each time, which is a bit of a step up from what we did before, where they had to manually put in that code. But we can automate some of this, can't we? Okay, we don't want our content editors to have to manually put in article each time or automatically put in the title. We can automate this. How do we do that? Well, back in our meta tag configuration here, we have these defaults, meta tag defaults. Okay, we've got a few different ones: global, front page, and some of these will flow down into other sections here. But I'm going to go to the content section, and this will apply to different content types. And we can edit what some of these fields should be by default. Of course, we can override them if we do want that. But I'm just going to show that we can set defaults for this, so our editors don't have to do this over and over as they're adding our content. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete some of the meta tag information I put in there. So I'm going to take off, just in the open graph, I'm going to take that article. I'm just going to take that off. And the title, I'm just going to take that off just to prove that this does actually work. So I'm going to save that. And just to look at the code again, this OG type and OG title should no longer appear. Okay, they're gone. Now, let's add those defaults for the meta tag. Here we are, meta tag, defaults. In the content section, I'm going to edit this. And in the open graph right here, I'm going to add a few of these right here. So the content type, I am going to put article. And so that one I can hard write into there. But some of these are going to come and be unique to each piece of content. So for example, the title of this, if I write, The Rock, as they have the example there, that's going to apply to every single piece of content that our editors add. We don't want that. What we want is that to be automated each time. So this is where, up at the top here, we see the tokens. This is why we had to install that tokens module, where we can select and have it be filled in automatically based on the content that's added. So I'm going to make sure I click on title, and then I'm going to open up the token browser, and shows us all the available tokens. And I have to grab in the nodes section, I'm going to grab the title. Okay, and when I click this, it's going to insert that token into the title field right there. Okay. Page URL. If we look at the code we had in the last video, we have this open graph URL right here. And this is where we have to put in sort of the absolute URL of the content. Well, we can get this from tokens as well. We can get the URL token right here, and we're going to grab the absolute URL just to make sure we don't have the relative one. Click that. All right, and that'll add that. So just to review, we have the type, we have the title, we have the open graph URL. So we have two more that we need to do. We have the description right here, and this is just sort of a short one, a little bit right here. We're going to grab this from the body summary. There should be a summary field right here. Yes, right there. Okay. And now for the image. We have an image on our content type right here. It's coming from the field underscore image. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that field. Before I do that, I just want to mention something, the image field. Now, in the tokens here, we do have an image field right there. So it might be tempting to just click on this and go image, like that. But we need to be aware of something. This will print something that we're not quite expecting. What we need here is we need the URL of the image, the URL of the image. And if we open this up in tokens, we see we have an option here for large, medium, thumbnail. This is the image styles. We need to get the URL, the absolute URL, the path to this image. So I'm going to choose the large image here. Of course, you could customize this if you wanted to. I'm going to use the large image, and I'm going to get the URL of it right here. So I'm going to delete that and put in the URL right there. Okay, and there's a bunch of other options we could fill in here, but those are just the 5 that I'm going to cover that we need for the Facebook sharing debugger. Let's save that. And I'm going to go back to my content, and I'm going to refresh. But just before that, just going to show you what is going to change. So in the open graph, the content type, that's going to be changed. The page URL, that's going to change. Title, description, and image. Those are going to be pre-filled in a moment. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to refresh. And what you're going to see in the open graph is it has those tokens in there automatically. You could rewrite these. You could override them. Put in a description. But I'm going to leave the tokens in there. So just look at our code one more time. We don't have any open graph tags in there yet. I'm going to save my changes. Just save this. And now I'm going to go back to Chrome, look at the code, and I'm going to refresh. And now we see those open graph meta tags. We see the URL, we see the type, we see the title, we see the description, and we see the image tag right there. It has the URL to it right there. Okay, so we can set up those defaults, and it'll be like that every single time. Now, one thing you might want to do is you might want to make individual fields for these meta tags. For example, we have this field underscore image, and that works great right here. But when we go to share this on Facebook, this image might not be the right ratio. Okay? It might make sense for an article, but not so much when it's being shared on Facebook. We saw this issue in the last video tutorial. What you can also do, and I'm going to show you right here, is we can add individual fields just for meta tags and select those to be the defaults. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to go back to my content type, structure, content types, article. I'm going to manage fields and add a new field. And I'm going to add another image field right here. I'm just going to call this, meta tag image. Only add one. And I probably don't need an alt field for this. Okay. So now, on our content type, we'll see this new field, meta tag image. All right. And before I upload something, I'm going to edit my configuration for meta tag. I'm going to go back to configuration, search and metadata, go to meta tag, and I'm going to change the default from this. I'm going to change it from the field underscore image, the default one that was there before. I'm going to change it to that new meta tag image field that I've just added. So go to content, and you can see a list of the different tokens that are being used for the meta tags. So you can see right now it's using the OG image is using node field underscore image large URL. Let's edit this. And I am going to change this, remove the field underscore image, to instead use, let's find it here, meta tag image right there. So that's that new field that I've just added. I'm going to open this up, and it's going to show me the different image styles that I have. I'm using just the defaults here in Drupal 8, but you could make an image style that is designed just for the preview of the Facebook shared link. So I'm just going to use the large one more time. Remember, you have to put in the URL of it. You have to put in the URL of it, the path to that image. So there. And that has been put into the image field there. Let's save. Okay, good. And we can get a little preview of that right there, that it's now using the meta tag image field that I've just created. So this can be a different image altogether. And I'm just going to show the, before I refresh Chrome, you can see that it's using this file called maryjackson.jpg. That's coming from the original field underscore image field. I am going to edit this content. I'm going to choose a different Mary Jackson image, one that's more appropriate. Mary Jackson 2, sort of a nicer size for Facebook. Let's save. Okay, you can still see that this image appears well here. Okay, and this image shows down at the bottom. Of course, you could hide this. You don't need it to appear on your content and have it only just for social sharing for a meta tag. Let's go back to Chrome. Let's refresh here. And again, just watch this change. This path is going to change to Mary Jackson 2 that new field, and there it is, Mary Jackson 2. Okay, there we go. So that was a quick intro into the Metatag module with Drupal. You can go very advanced with it. You can set a lot of defaults there. There's also views integration for it. So if you have a views page and you need to set some Metatag defaults for that, it has all of that in there. You can go really in depth with Metatag. That's all I'm just going to show you for now. Of course, at Evolving Web, we do training with Drupal, showing stuff like this and other things, site building, theming, creating your own themes, module development, all sorts of stuff. We also do things like intro to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. So you can go to evolvingweb.ca/training to see our upcoming courses that we're doing. And you can also go to evolvingweb.ca/newsletter, and you can sign up for our training newsletter to see upcoming trainings and other interesting articles and blog posts that we post there. All right, thank you for watching. See you soon.